Ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
my heart is beating out of my chest. I just got a call from one of my son's friends.
Okay.
Her phone number, I have it right here. She just picked my husband up too. My son and his girlfriend live out at Long Acre Lane.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's Holland. This girl says she was on the phone with my son and his girlfriend, and he was supposed to go pick her up. He was telling her he was going out the door, and all she heard was the phone drop and heard my son saying in the background, "Who are you? What do you want? What are you doing here?" And she said she just drove by the house, and the house looks ransacked. All the lights are on. My son's not answering, and neither is the girlfriend.
Okay, you said it was...
Yes, Lane.
Okay.
Oh, my God. I got heart problems, and my heart's beating out of my chest right now.
All right, I understand. Is she still there?
No, she just came by here to pick up my husband, my son's dad, and I'm here with the other two younger kids.
All right, what is your name?
My name is Maite Vasquez Clark. Oh, my God. I have the girl's phone number that he was talking to that heard all this going on in the background.
Okay.
Her parents, my son's girlfriend's parents are out of town. They left for Puerto Rico 2 days ago.
So my first initial thought was, well, why didn't the friend call the police department directly? You know, people are going through shock, but on our end of things, it's like we want to talk to the first-hand person at all times, the one who's witnessing it or going through it, because then we're getting in progress information rather than hearing things from the mom. Just in case anything gets misconstrued or miscommunicated. I would have right away asked for Tiffany's or Tiff's phone number. That way I can call her and see exactly what she saw and what was said over the phone with her.
Oh my God, ma'am, I'm so afraid something happened bad.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, what is your son's name?
John S. Clark. Clark is with an E at the end.
Is he white, black, or Hispanic?
He's white and Hispanic. He looks more white than anything.
How old is he?
He's 21. Date of birth is, and the girlfriend is...
Okay, is somebody going to meet us over there?
Yeah, my husband's on his way there right now. Oh my God, my hands are ice cold. My heart's beating out of my chest.
Do I need to send you medical, ma'am?
Please do.
Okay. Let me get this call in real quick, and I'll send you medical, okay?
But I have these kids. Okay, please make the call. The girlfriend's name is Lisa Stroud.
Okay, what's your husband's name?
John P. Clark.
What kind of car is he driving?
So at this point, too, I would be asking her, okay, what's your husband's, name and description, too, because he might be showing up at the house, and you don't want to have the officers caught off guard not knowing who he is. Like, she's asking him now what kind of car he's in. And I would get the dad's phone number and then also ask for the girlfriend Lisa's phone number too, because not only are we going to try calling them and see if they pick up the phone for us, which has happened plenty of times where they won't answer for family or friends, but for whatever reason, they'll pick up from the police department. So we've done that, or just to verify, okay, yeah, it's going straight to voicemail, it's turned off, or they're just letting it ring through. And then also we're able to figure out what the phone carriers are if we need to figure out where they're at, and we can track them through their phone company with the latitude and longitude and see where the phone was last used if it gets to that point.
I don't know what the girl's car is that picked him up. I'll give you the girl's phone number. The girl, okay. Tiffany.
Do you know how long it's going to take him to get over there?
Probably 10 minutes. Oh, my heart, my God, I can't take this.
What's his girlfriend's name?
Lisa Straub. Straub.
What's her cell number?
Oh. The girl that called me is Tiffany. I don't know her last name, and her cell number is...
Okay, but we can get a hold of Lisa on that number?
No, Lisa's with Johnny. That's what I'm telling you. Lisa and Johnny are boyfriend and girlfriend. They were leaving her mom's house.
There's a lot of names involved, but I don't understand why she was confused. I understood it was John and Lisa, and then Tiffany was the one who's been calling all of this in. So I don't know. I mean, I get that the mom was hesitant because she might not understand why she's asking for Lisa's phone number, but I would have just reassured the mom, like, okay, I get it. She's not answering the phone, but I still want her number, and I'm still going to try to call her at some point just to make sure. And yes, I'll take Tiffany's number from you too, and I'll be giving her a call.
They were on the phone with this girl named Tiffany. The number I'm going to give you, the cell phone number that I'm going to give you. They were talking to her on the phone when all this commotion went down.
I thought the girlfriend called you saying that she was on
No,
the phone.
no, not the girlfriend, her friend. The girlfriend's friend called me. And she's the one that just came here now to pick my husband up. Oh my God, please. I'm praying that my son is okay. Oh Lord.
All right, stay on the line and talk to medical while they're on their way there, okay?
Okay.
Hang on.
Deputies searched the outside of the home and saw no tracks in the snow. They decided to leave since there was no obvious forced entry or other alarming signals.
Sheriff's office. Listen, ma'am. I am a concerned mother. My son was in Long Acre Lane with his girlfriend house sitting. Lisa Stroud lives there because her parents went to Puerto Rico 2 days ago. I get a phone call about a half an hour ago from his friend Sharita that some girl named Tiffany called her saying that Johnny and Lisa were supposed to pick her up at 11 o'clock, and she was on the phone with Johnny, my son, when he was walking out of his house, his girlfriend's house with his girlfriend, to come get her. And supposedly she heard a guy in the background screaming at my son, and my son saying, "What do you want? Who are you? Get away from us," and what have you. Okay, 4 cop cars were already out at this residence. They're not there, and her car is in the driveway. I want to know where my son's at.
Okay.
I want to know where my son and his girlfriend are at. I want to know if they got abducted by whoever tried to assault them and rob them. And it's pretty funny that this girl named Tiffany, which is there right now by the residence, waits 2 hours to call somebody and report this.
Okay. Well, like I said, we were out there. There was nothing going on there.
Okay, where is my son and his girlfriend, and her car's in the driveway?
How would I know that, ma'am?
I need to report my son missing.
Okay. Where are you at?
I'm coming up to the residence right now.
It could be that she's talking to another dispatcher that has no idea what the other previous dispatcher had talked to her about, because it could be a large call center. So they might not be familiar with it. We're in a small call center. We have anywhere from 2 to maybe 5, if we're lucky, dispatchers at one time. And we can all hear each other's calls, and we all kind of listen to each other. And so it sounds like this girl isn't familiar with it. She probably pulled it up when the lady gave her address and saw what the call comments were, which is usually checked okay for something like this, right? The only thing I'd probably add to this is she's like, well, the girlfriend's car is here. Big. Okay, well, does your son have a car? If so, what kind of car is it? That wasn't seen there, so maybe he took off. We can try calling him again. We can try maybe reporting him missing if you like. The only thing that kind of stands out is when the mom first called, but obviously this dispatcher isn't going to know it because she's a different one. But when the mom first called, she's mentioned that the house was ransacked. So if it was ransacked, then the officers would have been able to see that, I would hope, unless the friend shut the door and locked it up. I don't know. But that would be something that's well, it sounds like there was a burglary or forced entry or something that went down for that friend to use those words specifically. But again, that goes back to, you need to talk to the first person who actually saw it, because there can be miscommunication and the stories kind of get jumbled a little bit.
Which resident?
Lisa's house.
Okay. I need an address.
Long Acre Lane.
And what's your name?
My name is Maite Vasquez Clark. This is the street, I think, Mama. Long Acre, this is it. This is it.
Okay,
I'm with my cousin right now that's in the military.
Okay. What's your phone number?
My phone number is... I want this girl's plate number before we go anywhere so I can give it to the sheriff on the phone. And they're back pulling in the driveway? I want this plate number. Ma'am, I'm going to give you this plate number, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That this girl's car is driving. I'm going to stay calm. I am. Will you stay on the phone with me, ma'am, while I talk to this girl? Don't touch me.
Okay, who are you going to talk to?
Okay, listen, here's the plate number.
And when she says, okay, I'm going to give her the plate number, that's something that we would always try to ask for too, if there are suspicious vehicles of concern, at something like this, because then we run the registration, we see who the car's registered to, and all of that gets noted and put into the call as well.
That is the girl's, the plate number of the car that this girl is driving that my son was supposedly pick up. Now, these two people right here, that's Johnny's phone. Oh, I don't know. It's my parents probably. Call them back.
Okay, what kind of vehicle is it?
A Corolla. I have a feeling you set up my son. My son is missing. He's nowhere to be found. Do you want to tell the police what you just got done telling me on the phone? Okay, come here. Ma'am, I'm going to let you talk to her because I have her blocked in Lisa's house driveway.
We don't suggest it ourselves, but if it's something that the caller feels they need to do, then we'd be like, okay, well, if you feel safe doing that, then that's up to you. I might not suggest it. Like, we do that a lot for like road rage type calls where they're like, or hit and runs. Oh, well, they hit my car. I'm going to take off after them. Be like, okay, but you don't know if they have weapons. You don't know what they're capable of. You could hurt yourself, others on the street. Now you're liable. We have his plate. We know who it is. Like, just let it go. I know it's hard, but let it go. So obviously she's a concerned mom. She's obviously very upset, wants to know where her son is. So we probably wouldn't suggest her confronting her, but since she's doing it anyways, then I'm sure maybe down the line here, she might be like, okay, yeah, let me talk to Lisa, or not Lisa, Tiffany, or the girl that's there, and let me talk to her and see what she has to say, since this dispatcher is new to this whole call.
Okay.
Here. You tell them what you I will. Hello?
Okay, what's going on?
Okay, my friend Johnny and Lisa, they were supposed to come pick me up, me and my friend from our house, and this was like 11 o'clock. And I was on the phone with his girlfriend Lisa, and then he hung up, and we all hung up. He said they were on their way, and then I called Johnny right back because I was going to tell him that I was going to run to the store, and then I would meet them at the house. Well, he was yelling at somebody like, I'm on. He goes, bro, who are you? And then I called. He called him right back, and he didn't answer. So I texted my friend Lisa's phone, and I was like, where are you? Are you guys okay? And they have not answered to me or nothing. They have not answered the phone, and I've been calling. So I drove out to their house after my friend's mom got home, and nobody answered the door. So I drove back by our house to see if maybe they went to his mom's house, and he wasn't there. So his dad called my phone, and I was like, do you want to ride out there? And he said, yeah, and I brought him out here. And now his mom's arguing with me, saying I set him up. And, you know, they're my friends, and I'm worried about them. And I don't have, you know, I'm worried about my friends because they were supposed to come pick me up. And
so in her story, like I was saying, the miscommunication and secondhand information, she didn't mention that anything was ransacked. She just said she went and they didn't answer the door. And she didn't mention anything about the girlfriend's car being there either, whether it was or not. But so that changes things. So right now it's just kind of like, okay, so there was no ransack or anything like that. So in my head, the officers already went out there. They see a car in the driveway and everything looks normal. So to them, it's just like, okay, it's this younger couple that's probably just not responding to their friends or their parents for whatever reason, and they're ignoring them, and everything appears to be okay from their point of view. Multitasking and really like tuning into what people are saying is a learned trait, or you can learn to get better at it. Some people are just not good listeners whatsoever, and some people just can't stay calm, or they can't do both. But it is something that you have to learn over time to really like fine tune and be able to tune other things out. So what I always tell a lot of people is like, okay, it's like you're a parent, you have your kid and your kid's talking to you, and you have the TV on and you're watching your show and you're doing the dishes and you're helping the kid with the math, and then the phone rings and you answer the phone and you're still doing all of those things, and you're still able to know what's going on, but you're able to adjust your hearing to hear what's important in that time, whether it be the phone call, your kid, or what's on the TV. So it's kind of something like that. It's a lot of stuff going on at once, but you kind of like learn where to key onto things and listen to certain details and stuff like that.
Does anyone have what's the son's name? What's her son's name? Is Johnny? Is that his name?
Yeah, Johnny Clark.
Does anyone have his phone number?
Yeah, I do, but his phone shut off.
Okay.
And we was calling and it was ringing and then it was shut off all of a sudden.
Are you out? Is there a couple officers where you guys?
There's some officers out here.
Okay, why don't you go talk to them and they can help you? Okay.
Okay, I'll put his mother back on the phone.
Okay, actually, I don't need to talk to her. She just talk to the officers.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
So that's normal. Once the officers get there, it's better to have that one-on-one contact anyway, so that's when we hang up the phone. So that's completely normal.
Again, deputies responded, spending more time checking the outside of the home. Although they had no probable cause to force entry, one officer allegedly told John, "As an officer, I can't tell you to go into the home, but as a parent, I would wait for us to leave, then go in."
So whether he said that or not, I don't know. But I mean, I think all of us get it. Like, we think our kid might be in danger in there. You can't get a hold of the parents, I'm sure, because they're out of town on a trip. And yeah, if they did that in front of the officers, then they would be in trouble for breaking and entering because they weren't there. They didn't witness it. If that's what he said that he told them, then, that's fine. And they can still be held accountable for that if the homeowners want to come after them and prosecute them. But I mean, who knows how this plays out? Obviously, I'm sure the parents know each other and because of their kids dating and stuff like that. And I would think they would understand. But yeah, just we can't ever suggest to go commit a crime, and be there to witness it and not act on it either.
The two went to the back of the house and looked in. Peering through the blinds, John could see both Johnny and a phone lying on the ground. The father ran back to the front of the house and kicked the door in. Inside, he found his worst nightmare. Lisa was lying on the ground with a bag taped around her face, and his son was nearby with a bag on his head. He ripped both bags off. He prepared to do CPR, but as he lifted Johnny, he knew it was too late. Mady made the third distressing call to 911.
Before we get into hers, the thing that kind of upset me was it said he looked through the blinds. So to me, that's okay. They only checked through the front yard. They didn't go check around the backyard and go check through the windows or anything else like that. So they were visible to be seen, and that's kind of upsetting to know that and to expose the family to that type of trauma too. I mean, nobody wants to see it, but that's our job to go through and see those situations, unfortunately. But to not fully check all of the windows, especially since you got called out there the second time and all these people are there frantic, and just do a thorough sweep of the yard and backyard and stuff is just really disappointing, to say the least.
God. Oh my God. You need to get the police out to Long Acre Lane. My son is in the basement tied up at his house. I just saw him through the window. The police were out here earlier and did absolutely nothing. Both cell phones are on the ground and we can see the people. Him and his girlfriend are tied up in the basement.
Okay, all right, we'll get them out there.
Get them cops out here. I told them earlier. And they wouldn't listen to me.
You need to calm down. We'll get them out there. But yelling at me is unconscious.
I don't think that's the time to start picking a fight with a mom who just saw her dead child who she's been calling on with a bag over his head and a phone next to him. Saying to calm down like that isn't probably... she probably didn't think about it, but it's not the right choice of words. Maybe an apology like, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry that you had to see that and find him that way. Please try to take a few deep breaths. I know you're upset. They're going out there right now. The paramedics are going out there. The police are going back out there." She's going to be mad because she's going to blame, obviously, the police department for not finding them sooner. And that's what we have to keep in the back of our head. She's just acting off of pure emotion.
They're unconscious, ma'am.
Oh, okay. You said they're unconscious?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Cell phones on their body. With cell phones on their bodies. On clothes with pants on. She only has pants on. Okay. And their hands are tied.
Okay. All right. We'll get them out there, ma'am.
Oh my God.
Okay. I need you to calm down. We'll get them out there, okay?
Oh my God. Please hurry.
All right, we will.
Long Acre.
Okay.
Long Acre Lane.
I have the address. We'll get them out there.
Goodbye.
It's hard. I mean, this third dispatcher seemed a little bit annoyed with her calling, even though that was, to me, I think that would be a traumatic phone call just to get anyways. Like, you can tell just the severe emotion coming out of the mom. You know, you would hope that they would give her some empathy and some grace. It is hard to be yelled at and blamed and cussed at. We get cussed out at pretty much daily. I mean, you have to have a thick skin. You can't be that affected by people and their words. You have to put yourself in their shoes to an extent. Like, she is looking at her son, and, you know, it's one thing to have a family member pass away normally. It's another thing to know that your loved one was murdered. And then it's a whole other one to find your child murdered and have to see that after you've been calling for help. They're going through some serious stuff right now, and they're seeing something that they should never ever have to see or ever have to go through. And so to get annoyed with them isn't helping the situation at all. Sometimes you just got to take your hits and just let it happen. Sometimes we're their punching bag, and it is what it is. And they probably won't even remember what they said to you because they're just going through this huge amount of trauma right now. So you just never know with the calls you take. It could go from anything from a missing persons, which is just a one-person paper call, to a welfare check to see if the people there are okay, and now to a full-blown like murder scene. So it's really good for dispatchers and officers not to be complacent with the information we're taking and the calls that we get and the calls that they go on, because you just never know. It could be sounding like the simplest of calls or a run-of-the-mill generic like argument call and turn into something completely different. I've had like a few like that they found a body kind of thing. One I had was an attempted murder, and it was somebody that got stabbed in the back, but they were still alive and breathing and talking. So trying to pull out as much information as I could before he either passed away or went into shock and passed out. There's been calls like that. But yeah, there's been calls where kids have been run over, or it's been a hit and run and they take off. I've had quite a few of them. And the kid ones are always very upsetting. Hearing mothers cry is always upsetting. But it's, like I said, we have to kind of build a thick skin. The normal person might have, and I'm probably being generous, 1 to 5, if that, emergencies, like life or death emergencies in their life, right? Like something traumatic. And we see those things more than a handful, sometimes within a week. Sometimes we get hit with a lot of stuff. And so what we see throughout a year, 5 years, 10 years, my 23 years, like there's a lot, and I don't always think of them, but sometimes there's triggers that make me start thinking about certain things more than others, just because of a movie scene or a sound or a smell, and it just sits with you. It's just very, very, very important to have something to come home to, whether you have a good marriage, whether you have a good relationship. If you live alone, that's fine, but it's good to have like a healthy hobby outside of law enforcement or outside of being a first responder for any job. Actually, I am married to an officer too. So you can imagine our car ride homes are about all the negative things that happen to work and venting and things like that. But when we come home, it stops, because if we bring that negativity in our home, then there's going to be negative here too. And so having that in and talking about it, it's just going to do nothing but having a negative effect on your physical health and your mental health. And it's going to trickle, for me with my kids, it'll trickle down to them too. For me personally, I created a journal. So I journal my feelings and thoughts and stuff like that. I word dump rather than vent to other people. I go camping a lot. We go traveling a lot. So it's just good to do something outside of law enforcement, whether that's with law enforcement friends or with friends completely outside of the realm. You have to have something to look forward to and something positive that reminds you of the good in the world and all of the amazing things that we have at our fingertips.